and welcome to another video made by me. I'm Soul Hunter, and this is a video dedicated especially to the IFV. As you might see, I have a lot of them set up over here. With all the units you can put in them behind them, with the exception of 3, which I'll get into later in the video. Anyhow, the IFV. This is the IFV. It's a very fast, light armored anti-air and personnel vehicle, and it also has the capability of storing a single unit inside. But the thing is, with the IFV, the weapon the IFV has, starting out with the rockets, they change to whatever the host is carrying, which you can, which sometimes is the same and sometimes it makes no sense, because the dogs do nothing at all. They do not change anything, so they're not worth discussing. Oh, anyway, back to the IFV itself. I have some targets set up here to check its stats, because it's medium ranged, it has splash damage, and it's fairly good against infantry. On the other hand, let's check tanks. It's not very effective, and heavy armor is even worse. Then you also have flying infantry, which gets taken down quite easily, and flying vehicles. Wait, I'm messing up. Here, flying vehicles. Well, for Kirov, this is quite useful if you have a lot of them. It's a very good strategy against Kirov if you have about 10 of them. Okay, now to the actual units. I'll just test for every kind of gunner head. I'll just use one, because they are obviously the same. Such are the conscript, the GI, and the spy. They all have the exact same weapon, being a high caliber machine gun. This machine gun is very useful against infantry in larger groups, as I will demonstrate. See, it goes through them pretty quickly, and it also has quite a bunch of effect on light armor. Damn it. Sorry for that. Heavy armor, on the other hand, is still pretty much unaffected, and it's not able to attack any air. Okay, on to the next one. I will discuss the engineer. The engineer is a very useful and interesting one. I have a couple more set up here, and they're used to repairing things. They can repair any tank, with their repairing options, which can be very useful to repair your armies if you don't want to send them to the service depot or are mid-battle. But it cannot heal units. I don't think it can repair buildings, and it cannot do anything there. But it can certainly repair your tanks, and it goes pretty fast actually, which is very useful. Okay, now for the initiate, which just carries on an attack. It has a slightly longer range than most IFV passengers, and it just carries on the same weapon, only slightly more effective, and now he's actually faster because he's inside the vehicle and has a bit more armor. Okay, on to the next one. The Guardian GI is quite interesting. It has the same properties as an IFV, just on its own. As you can see, so the same thing happens. Only difference is that some of them have different, the weapons have different damages on different units. As you can see here, it does barely anything to the GI compared to the regular IFE. But on tanks, on the other hand, it just obliterates them. And on heavy armor, it still does a lot of damage. But on the other hand, it does about the same damage, or no, even less against Kirov airships, and it does barely any damage against rocketeers as well. I'll just set up a new tank. So it's more useful against tanks, as I'll just demonstrate it. Now for the flak trooper, which is the same as the flak track, only faster. See, if you're used to the flak track, it's much faster than it is, and it does quite useful damage against infantry, and it's also quite useful against well, actually only infantry, because it's not very useful against tanks, and it cannot attack air, which is the drawback of this unit, because the flak track can. Okay, on to the next one. Here we have a Tesla trooper, which is actually just about the same as a Tesla tank, only well, it's a bit it's a bit faster, and I think the rest is pretty much the same, or maybe less damaging. But and it has more range, and it can also, it's very effective against tanks, and it's very effective against infantry. It's somewhat effective against heavy armor, cannot attack air, and it can actually arc over walls. So you can attack things that are on the other side of walls, which can be useful if you need it to. Okay, now to the virus. Virus is also not very effective. It's just a virus in a car. The range just increases a bit, and she's just, yeah, the regular things like being faster and having more armor. But for the rest, it's just the regular virus traits, being the sniper-like the sniper-like attack with the poisonous gas escaping from the shots. And I accidentally put it out. Well, anyways, on to the next one. Well, the one I'm going to discuss now is fairly similar, because the Seal, the Tanya, Boris, the Chrono Seal, and the Psy Commander, which you can get from sending a spy into a Yuri battle lab. They all have the same gun, being a sped up version or a better version of the heavy machine gun you get when you put a regular infantryman into an IFE. Only the difference is it's faster. It one-shots things, but it's horrible against tanks. It does barely any damage. Same for the Apocalypse. It does actually no damage at all. Well, very, very little, and it cannot attack air. But since these are all the same, let's move on. Here we have the very interesting Chrono Legionnaire, which is not affected at all, or not much. It just has a longer range, and it moves around in a different manner, since the regular Chrono Legionnaire teleports, and this one drives, which can be useful, but I do not advise it. Okay, now for the Yuri Clone and the Yuri Prime, which are also somewhat the same, as they cast a field of psychic energy, which, well, kills infantry. Oh, right now it doesn't want to for some reason. Sorry for that. The only difference is the Yuri clone gets sort of glitchy when you attack a ground level, and it will just keep attacking, which is very funny. Yeah, as you can see here, it just blows things up. So the Yuri clone is actually better than Yuri Prime inside of an IFE. Okay, now for the last two, until I move on to the three special ones, are the Crazy Ivan and the Chrono Ivan, which are exactly the same. And well, are also the same as a Cuban terrorist. What they do is very interesting. They do this. They just explode. And, well, they make quite a big explosion. Well, it's not that big, it's less than the demolition truck from Libya. But it can be nice if you wanted to, if you want to use it. And you don't have access to the trucks. Well, this is it for now. I'll be right back. And now I'm back with the sniper. I've already put it in. This is a sniper, as you can usually say. People are supposed to be used to this weapon, or unit actually. Well, when I put it in, doesn't change that much. The change is it's quicker, obviously because of the car, and has more armor, which is the case because it's in an IFV. Well, the weapon system itself doesn't change that much, other than getting quicker. Because if you put it on, it takes a long while before we can shoot again. In the IFV, it shoots much quicker. And it's very useful against regular infantry because it just one-shots them from long distances. Tanks, on the other hand, no damage, and cannot also not attack anything flying. But against regular infantry, like there's a bunch over here, I can just shoot them all. Goes pretty fast. So that's it for the sniper. I'll be right back. And welcome back. Now I'm going to do the desolator. After this I only have to do the terrorist, and then I'm done for this video. Okay, the desolator is also not very different, it's just faster. And if you know the desolator, it has a rad cannon which just irradiates shit and melts units. Well, this one does it faster. And yeah, it's very effective against units. It can also deploy, but it won't work inside of the IFV. And against tanks, it's not that effective in this way. It's much more effective this way. It's actually effective against tanks to be added in larger groups. And against heavy armor, well, it's somewhat effective. It's not that effective, and it cannot attack any air targets. Okay, now I'll just see you back to the last part. And welcome back to the video. And okay, this is the final part of the video. It's about the terrorist, and I'm going to show it's also about the same as the crazy Ivan. Because what it does is it blows up, and so does the crazy Ivan, the exact same explosion. And because I was bored, I just decided let's crank it up and watch it in bigger version. Or even bigger! Wait, let me just get it up here. I just put about 50 of these things around, because I can. But anyhow, that was the end of the video. I hope you learned something interesting. Well, took me quite some time to make this video actually. But okay, maybe do some stuff. Okay, goodbye.